Ashwan, she's the one with me. Vernon, he's the one with me. No, I'm gonna soft one.
All right. Hey. Okay. Boss. Hey. General, you come with your file here. Yeah? Okay. Welcome. Good?
Oh, this is the first time I'm shaking your hand. Are you okay? I'm good. Hello.
All right. Some paper bath. All right. You okay? Let's go. You want to eat out of pavilion? Right, take care of everybody.
Laci, Laci.
How y'all doing? Everybody okay?
Alright.
Everybody okay?
Yes. Oh, Kainet.
We can outfit over this time?
Yes. Nice to meet you, Mr. President.
Nice to meet
Welcome
you.
to Letter.
You look shiny.
Yes. Just to meet you.
Let me make sure that it's very comfortable. What you doing till up here? You come till up here. Huh? You can't be till up there, man. Be careful, right?
Okay.
Let's see if I can do this now. Oh, no, sorry. Good. You take your time, son. Oh, back it. All right. Mary, okay? All right. Let me see if we get everybody on this side.
Yeah.
Look, everybody come over this way. Everybody. Come over this way, please, and pull up. Come over this
I guess I didn't see it.
Diana.
Nothing happens. Oh, it did happen. Like this. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. Those who are standing, if you can just come closer, have a seat. We're about to start. All right. Once again, good morning to all. If you haven't heard me, I now call this program to order. And before we go into the program, the head table. At the head table, we have our President, Mohammed Irfaan Ali. We have Minister Nigel Damra, Minister of Local Government and Regional Development. Minister Pauline Sukai, Minister of Amerindian Affairs, Minister Susan Rodriguez, Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, our Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Acting Mayor, Ms. Deborah King, and our Chairman, Regional Chairman, Mr. Brian Ali Cook. Other officials visiting team, we welcome you all to Latin. I'll now call on Ms. Alison Kamash to lead us in a word of prayer.
Good morning, everyone. In everything we do, we have to invite the Lord's presence. And so we ask that you can remain seated, but let's ask as we bow our heads to bring the Lord's presence into our midst. Heavenly Father, we thank you this morning for a beautiful day. We thank you, Lord, that we can all be here together to meet and greet our President and ministers. We ask you, Lord, to bless this morning our President, our ministers visiting, our regional chairman, our mayor acting, and each and every one of us. We invite you, Lord, to be among us, to bless this meeting as we come to resolve issues. May it bring fruit. Bless each and every one of us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Ms. Kamash. And now I'd ask everyone to stand as we recite our national pledge. 1, 2. I pledge. Okay, you can take your seat. All right, so getting on with the program, I'll now call on our acting mayor, Ms. Deborah King, to do her welcome remarks. Mrs. King.
Good morning, residents all. I would like to this morning welcome you to such a special occasion. I want to say thank you for coming out to such a short notice, but this morning is real special because we have with us today someone very special who is working tirelessly to make sure that our needs are met. Let us all stand as we welcome our Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali, our President of the Cooperative Republic of Ghana. And our ministers, regional chairman, everyone else. This is great. For me, this is a special moment for me because seeing him today in person to say to you something special, as we say, good news he brings to you today. It's an honor. Welcome, Mr. President, to Tawichenya and let him. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. Indeed. So we don't want to have you keep it too long waiting, so we continue because we're excited to hear what the President has to say. This is very special, good news. So with that, I go into the next speaker. I call in on our regional chairman, Mr. Brian Alicock.
Thank you, Madam Chair. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Minister Nigel Dharam Lal, Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Minister Pauline Sukai, Minister of Marine Affairs, and then Minister Susan Rodriguez, Minister within the Ministry of Water and Housing. Other members of the President team from Georgetown this morning, I know he brought special people to address certain things that I know he has questions from. But, and the residents of Lethem and outer communities beyond Lethem, I would go with my Mayor Acting to welcome you this morning. This is a special occasion. And I continue to tell you that when our government commit, we deliver. So you're going to experience this morning some of it from His Excellency and the team this morning, right? So I want to tell you that I'm happy that you came out to listen to him. And wherever we go, you know, we are hearing about our government and the work that is happening within the country. And not only in the country, but regionally and internationally. So our leader here has put Guyana further on the map. And I look at one publication where he's number 5 in the leaders within the Caribbean, right? So he's one of the top leaders. So please put your hands together for our president and his team here. So I don't want to continue further, but we have other ministers to present and the president himself. And once again, Thank you for coming out, and God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you, Chairman. So we'll now hear some remarks from Honorable Minister Nigel Narva.
All right, thank you, and good morning, everyone. All protocols observed. We are very happy to be in Tabachinga, especially, and Letem in the township this morning with our president. Only last week, I was here meeting with a number of residents in terms of how we can forge ahead with the development of the town of Letem. And today is a manifestation of the presence of His Excellency, his commitment to being in all communities. It is one of the tasks that the President has set himself and the members of his cabinet to come into villages, come into communities, come into all the constituencies and to work with our people. Letem is a very important town for us. It is contiguous to Brazil. It is one of the frontier towns in our country, bordering one of the biggest economies of the world. And his presence here today, our presence here today, is for the proof to you that we are serious about the development. As a matter of fact, as I'm speaking, there is development taking place. More roads are being built, more businesses are being established, more persons are being employed, more opportunities are created for people, greater wealth creation in the town of Letem and the wider Region 9. So today is very special. There are also many other developments that are going to take place that I'm sure His Excellency will share with you as to how he is evolving in terms of the development in Region 9 and the rest of the country, and how Letem plays such an integral role. One of the things that I would like to remind you, a lot of the development that has taken place in Letem over the last 20 years, but more particularly over the last 15 years, started when President Ali was the Minister of Housing and Water, as well as the Minister of Trade, Industry and Commerce. And many of you know that the industrial area, the commercial area, the housing development at Culvert City, even here, all of these came during the course of President Ali's intervention. So, and many times he corrects me too, that a lot of work when he was a technical officer, like many of us in the Ministry of Finance. I think the last time he was saying he was one of the first persons to come to the Rupununi to deliver sewing machines to many villages. So President Ali has an important investment to pursue in Region 9, and I'd be happy to join with you. Let us work with President Ali to make sure that this town grows, that the leadership in this town expands. Since we have been running this town as the People's Progressive Party Civic, you have seen the transformation. We work with in a way of mutual respect, listening to persons, reaching out to you, and trying to dealing with your issues. So there are many things that we are pursuing, and lives are transforming, and today is a further opportunity for you to work with our President, work with our government to expand the potential of even your own families, businesses, and the town of Letem. So thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you and with our President to get this vision implemented in the town of Letem.
Thank you, Minister Narva. And indeed, so we need to work together, because as you look around, you would see the President's team. They're all, the caps they're wearing, their t-shirts, and it is just a subtle reminder that his vision of a one Guyana we're seeing it, and it's going to be realized. So moving along in that line, we'll now hear some remarks from Honorable Minister of Agrarian Affairs, Ms. Pauline Sukai. Put your hands together, welcome.
Thank you very much, and all protocol observe. I would like to say that I'm very pleased that our team is here today to interact with the township of Letem, the residents, and all those who've turned out here today to be with His Excellency in his visit here. Indeed, our President is striving to build one Guyana. And as Nigel said, we're contiguous to Brazil, but the township of Lethem is also surrounded by many Amerindian villages, 57 Amerindian villages. And that means that our government has to extend its work and its access to all those in Region 9, as we do in all the other regions across Guyana. And so our Amerindian residents and villages in Region 9 have not been left out. In our campaign, we have made some very important commitment to the Amerindian population. And those commitments are being driven by the PPP civic government. And I'm very pleased to say that we have been embracing and implementing those commitments. In Region 9, within the last 2 years, we have trained young men and women of Region 9 in ICT training. We've trained them in tractor drivers and servicemen repair. We've also did solar training, solar maintenance and installation training for young people. And that is in addition to the national programs that are available for young people across the hinterland, including Region 9. Under the Amerindian Affairs Ministry, we are provided with funds and investment funds to deal with capital projects. We have been able to provide support for economic initiatives by the villagers, and it embraces youth, women, and of course, infrastructure. And so today I'm very pleased to be with this team. And as the PPP civic government continue in office, the hallmark of this government is ensuring that we walk the walk and we engage the people on the ground. Today is one such event. It's your opportunity, and I want to thank you for being out here with full numbers so that you can interact with His Excellency and the government. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Pauline. And now we will call a minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Honorable Susan Rodriguez.
Thank you very much, His Excellency President Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali, colleague ministers, REO, regional chairman, acting mayor, all of the regional officials and government officials who are here and those who traveled to Lethem this morning, and of course to you, the most important people, the residents of Lethem, the residents of Region 10. Good morning and welcome to all of you. Region 9. Region 9. We are extremely happy to be joining you here this morning. This visit to Region 9 is extremely important to our president. And he's not here in the region for one day. He's going to be here for the next 3 days, walking the ground with you, reaching out to everyone, speaking with people, listening to you, sleeping in your communities, camping out with you. He's going to be traveling across the region, and we're going to be here with you. We're spending time with you because we want to understand all of the needs that you have. We want to understand what you need us to do in order to improve your lives. Now, you know we are a government that has been reaching out. That is the mandate that has been given to us by His Excellency, and he has been leading by example. And you know now, when you look around your region and you look around the country, you can see a breath of fresh air. You can feel it. You know that life has been restored since the PPPC government has been in office, and there has been tremendous progress. Tremendous progress in such a short time. This amount of progress has never been recorded in our history in such a short time. So you have a very active government. A lot has been done already, and you have a lot more to look forward to over the next 3 days and over the next 3 years. Now, if I were to come a little bit closer to home to my ministry, the Ministry of Housing and Water, there is a long list of things that I can go through to tell you about all the things that we have been doing and all of the things that we plan to do. So I don't want to take too much time because I want us to get to His Excellency's remarks to you this morning. But you know, one of the most important things that we've done here for the Ministry of Housing and Water is to establish a local office here, a regional office, so that we can be closer to you and so that we can better address your needs. You can come into the office that has both agencies, the Central Housing and Planning Authority and the Guyana Water Inc., and you can get all your housing and water needs addressed through that regional office. We are upgrading roads to asphaltic concrete in Tabachinga, and we have the new infrastructure works that is going on in the CHPA track, where we distributed from 2020 to now 400 house lots to the people of Region 9. We have spent over $669 million in this region already through the Ministry of Housing. And if I were to look at water, what we're doing in water, presently we have about 70% of the region is covered in terms of access to water. By the end of 2022, after we have implemented our program for 2022, we will move that percentage to 75% coverage of water. By the end of 2023, it will be 90% access to water. And in keeping with His Excellency's direction, by the end of 2025, 100% access to water for region number 9. So the Ministry of Housing and Water has been very, very busy, and we're going to ensure that we keep all of the commitments made in those two sectors. And under the leadership of President Ali, all of the commitments and more will be kept. All of the commitments that were made will be kept. And you know that a lot of the things that you have been seeing, a lot of the projects, a lot of the programs that you've been seeing rolling out over the last 2 years were not even in our manifesto. But we have ensured that we fulfilled all of those commitments. And every day as we come out and we meet you and you express your needs to us, we have been responding. So we are not limiting ourselves to the commitments we made. As we come out here and as we consult with you and we listen to you, we will ensure that we respond as we have been doing. We are a responsive government, and we're going to ensure that everything we do positively impacts your life and gives you a better quality of life, regardless of where you live. We are bridging the gap between the coastland and the hinterland. And so we look forward to continue to serve you, the people of our country, and we continue to build that relationship that we have between us, your government, your leaders, and you, your people. We are One Guyana, and the One Guyana team is here to serve you for the next 3 days. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister Susan. So we're getting into the part of the good news. So I'm going to introduce someone to you, the man of the moment, the reason why we're all here today on such short notice, standing in the blazing sun, waiting to hear what he has to say. A man that comes into your community and sit and listen attentively to the man on the street, to meet one-on-one with his people. A man that goes the extra length of cooking for you, to stand there over a fireside and cook so that you can taste his hand. Actually, I heard he's going to be cooking in the south. I want to go there. I hope you can come with me too. Let's welcome our President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali.
Thank you, please. Thank you. Very kind of you. Thank you very much. Please have your seats.
First of all, I'm very, very pleased to be here with you on another trip here in Region 9. Region 9 is one of those breathtaking regions of our country. Of course, the most beautiful people are the Guyanese people. And today, the message is, regardless of which regions you are from in this beautiful country of Guyana, regardless of how you look or how you feel, regardless of your social, religious, political persuasion, let it be very clear that development, progress, and prosperity will come to every single home and every single family. You know, last night I had to respond to what I consider, well, I don't want to use the words, but what I consider to be an immature press statement by the APNU-AFC apparatus. And guess what they're objecting to? They're objecting to the temporary jobs that we have just created all across the country. That will also be coming to this region. $2,000 jobs will be coming to Region 9. $40,000 in those person pockets. Multiply 2,000 by 40,000 and see what is the impact on the communities. And this is outside the jobs we brought back for the CSOs. And you have an opposition in this country that is objecting to that. Opposition all across the world are calling on the government to give jobs, to support income. And here you have a government doing that and the opposition is objecting. And guess what? This is the same opposition that took away 2,000 jobs from Amerindians. The same opposition that shut down the sugar industry. I think something is backward in the thinking. You know, government should create opportunities, but I think they believe you have to take away opportunities. But don't worry about that. Because we are on a focused journey of delivering prosperity and building a one Guyana for all. So let's not waste too much energy on negative forces. Let us focus on positive things. We live in a different world today than 3 years ago. A world that is still coming out of a pandemic. A pandemic that cost so many lives. A world in which every single day, in the best of countries, we're seeing empty shelves in the supermarket. Because there is, as the world describes it, a food crisis. And along with that food crisis are rising prices for food. The price for fuel, gas, globally, has gone up tremendously. And this is a result of things we can't control. The war in Ukraine, 30% of all the grains in the world is out. And then we have the worst climatic conditions across the world today. In Europe, rivers are drying up. The crops are dying. Here in Guyana too, we have seen the tremendous impact of the rain over the last 2 years on agricultural production. We have seen and feel the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. We have seen and felt the impact of the global increases in food prices. We have seen and feel the impact of the global increases in transportation costs for goods and services. But whilst we have seen this and we have felt this as a people, we must also acknowledge the fact that we have seen a government that was responsive, a government that is caring, and a government that has tried and done everything in its power to ensure that that impact is minimized on the people of our country. That is what is important. It is what the government does to reduce the impact. I can stand here all morning and talk to you about the numerous measures that we have brought back in place. We have brought back a uniform grant, right? Yes. You happy for that? Yes. The school transportation grant, right? Yes. For the young children. But importantly, to deal with COVID, to deal with the effect on our agriculture, the climatic effect on our agriculture, in this region alone, outside of those grants, we have distributed more than $600 million to the families of this region. That is a government that understands the realities on the ground. That is a government that understands the challenges on the ground. That is a government that responds to the challenges and the realities on the ground. And that is why we are here today. Because we promise you that we are going to create the necessary environment to ensure that your life is improved. Remember that? That is why we're investing in water. We're investing in giving you proper electricity. We're investing in infrastructure. We're investing in housing. We're investing in these important areas so that we can deliver to you better service, so that we can deliver to you better conditions under which your family lives. We have launched special programs for hinterland communities on sanitation, home improvement, roof improvement, water improvement. We have invested heavily in the health sector to deliver a better health service to you. And yes, there is tremendous investment that is still required to take the level of service up and to deliver to you comparable service to what those on the coast enjoy. In Lethem alone, in moving the road network to asphaltic concrete, we have invested almost $600 million or close to $600 million. And we have made a commitment that we are going to make the total investment to ensure that all the roads in Lethem are paved roads. We are going to make the necessary investment to ensure that all our children have access to secondary education. We are going to make investment to ensure that our children here in Lethem can benefit and will benefit from the Gold Scholarship, because we will work to give you good access to the internet. We want to work with young people to ensure that you are part of the skills development program, that you are part of the skill development program that would see the new phase of development of our country. Because as I said, in these communities, we have many young persons who can become health workers, nurses, doctors, engineers, heavy equipment operators. We are on course to bringing these opportunities to you. We have already said to the Ministry of Health, all those persons with the minimum qualifications in the entire region who would like to come in the healthcare system as nurses, technicians, health workers, let us assemble them, and the government is committed to providing the necessary resources to have them trained to take up those jobs right here in the region. We want the people of this region, to to benefit from the opportunities right here in the region. That is why we have already directed the Ministry of Education to work on a program through which every single teacher in this region and hinterland region across the country must have access to become trained teachers, because they're equally valuable as any teacher anywhere in this country. We are not going to shy away from making the critical investments that are required to take you forward. Over the last couple of weeks, I've asked ministers to come into the region and to talk to the people and to listen to their concerns. And then we sat down and we were able to come up with the priority areas to address some of their concerns. I can talk to you today about the work we're going to do to ensure that you have a proper road link to Georgetown. We have already awarded the first phase of that contract, the Linden to Mubura Hill. That will be a paved highway. The opportunities that will open up will be enormous. We have already awarded all the bridges up to Lethem. They will be built with concrete bridges to international standard. That is because we care about your safety. We care about opening up new opportunities. We care about creating a pathway through which you can benefit from greater and more expansive development. I can talk to you about the equipment we're giving to communities, whether it's the tractors and trailer. I can talk to you about increasing the presidential grant. I can talk to you about the school feeding program. I can also tell you that you can expect a massive investment in this region in your food production system. Because what the world has taught us in this pandemic and this global food crisis and cost of living crisis globally is that we must produce more. We must produce more within our communities. And we're going to work with all the communities in developing plans and programs to ensure that our food production capacity is improved. I can also spend a lot of time and talk to you about the last Two Showers conference, when we allocated $3 billion. Never in the history of this country, never in the history of any country with an indigenous population did a government ever made such a decision after consultation with the leaders of the indigenous community. At the end of the National Two Showers Conference, the government of Guyana committed itself to the allocation of $3 billion Guyana dollars for the improvement of Amerindian and Amerindian communities. These are the type of investment. These are the type of investment that we are making to uplift your lives. These are the investment that will make an important difference in your lives. We also are aware that we have to work on improving the conditions through which we can create newer jobs and better paying jobs in this region. Not only in the government services. That is why we are having focused discussions with the private sector now. Focused discussion to see how we can move industrial development, commercial development into Lethem so that we can develop a new phase of job opportunities stimulated by the private sector. I was only recently in Bovista, and we are discussing how we can integrate better so that your lives can be made easier, so that more opportunities can come to you. But we are not sitting down and waiting, and don't worry, I'm not going to be much longer. I see my friend in there, that's orange. My friend in orange smiling there, see? I like your hairstyle, by the way. I gotta get that hairstyle before I go back. The warmth of the people in Region 9 and Latin is always amazing. You know, what I like about this audience is a number of young people. And one of the things that we said, and a lot of women and young people. One of the things that we said when we were campaigning is that we must make home ownership easier. You remember that? The young lady with the horse. You remember that? All right. And I remember that a question was asked. How are we going to ensure you get qualified at the bank so you can get a loan? And how are we going to ensure you move from land ownership to home ownership? You remember those conversations? Well, we in this government don't forget. So we have been grappling on many different ways that we can help hinterland housing. Recently, we announced some special initiatives for housing on the coastal area. That, by the way, will also benefit you. So if you are building your home and you have your lot allocated to you, and you're building a low-income home or a young professional home, then you will benefit from the cement and the steel that we're giving. So you're already part of that program anyways, because we are one Guyana. Let me hear you. We are one Guyana. Y'all want some for real? I got lesson for real just now, but y'all want some no. Because we are one Guyana. All right, good something good to know. I see this lady have on a Jamaica umbrella. You gotta get some Guyana umbrella. So we are already doing this for you. We have launched a hinterland housing program, a hinterland home improvement project, a hinterland sanitation project, in which we are doing septic tanks, we're replacing roofs, and we are building complete homes. And we have communities in this region that are already benefiting from this program. I would have already benefited from this program. But today is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. But today, your government is about to deliver to you beyond the promise of our manifesto. Your government is about to announce a measure that I assure you is second to none in the entire world. Your government, in keeping with its commitment to uplifting your lives, will make the following announcement. And as your president, I am pleased to make the following announcement. We have worked with the Ministry of Housing, and the model of house that people are using here costs about $3 million. That is in the community. So here is what we're going to do. The government of Guyana, starting with the persons who have the lot, 600, the government of Guyana will, with immediate effect, give $1 million Guyana dollars to each of those allottees. This is just a start. I told Mark, don't worry, more is coming, more will come. That is an investment on your behalf of $600 million Guyana dollars from the government. Direct transfer. We told you that you will benefit from the revenues of this country. When some said that you must not be part of it, you will benefit. You will get the delivery of the benefit. Now that is the first part of the announcement. Secondly, we were able to sit down with two banks, GBTI, that is here, and New Building Society. And without any collateral, without a job letter, they have agreed that they will finance the remaining $2 million at 3.5%, the lowest in the country. So you get the $600 million from us, you will get the remainder finance, and guess what? The repayment for the financing from the bank will be just about $14,000 per month. For all those who like to comment on social media and talk, I want them to beat that. We'll be focusing forward, eh? Forward, upward ever, backward never. So $600 million direct investment from the government. The $2 million by 600, that's $1.2 billion. That is $1.8 billion of investment in LETEM, in housing. Think about what that will now do for the businesses. And we have also attached a condition to this. And the condition is that all the material and the labor must be procured locally. Must be procured locally. So that the businesses will benefit. The communities will benefit. The laborers will benefit. The skilled workers will benefit. The block makers will benefit. You all will benefit as a result of the investment the government is making. In the coming weeks, the Vice President will be here to launch another program. That is a 2,000 jobs program for Region 9. And you know, you say now, yesterday the press conference, they say that all these people getting jobs and PPP people. Well, apparently the whole country won't PPP. It's all well and good. We one country, one Guyana. If the whole PNC ready to come PPP, one Guyana, we're taking them on. The door is open, one Guyana. The trade is moving. So today, my respected elders, my brothers and sisters, young people, you have an opportunity like never before. The power of owning your own homes and turning your own key is enormous. Let me assure you that when that $3 billion investment is made, you can refinance that property and land and get additional money to start up a small business. That is the real power of this investment. That is how people are being empowered, and the net asset value of Guyanese is increasing. What that means is that your value will increase automatically. Because in my discussions with the bank, they said to me that a property like that in the land will carry a net value of about $6 million. With an investment of $3 billion. So even if you realize a refinancing value of $2 million, you have $2 million to invest in a small business. You are now empowered. You are now empowered. The government has now empowered you. Are we together? So my dear citizens of Region 9 here in Latin, This morning, as I said, I have no intentions of keeping you long. You're already here a very long time. In 1 day notice, you are out here in your numbers, not even a full day, on a Friday morning. I thank you sincerely for this commitment and love that you've shown to us. Your love, your support, and your motivation is what energizes us every day to work harder. It is what gives us that added fuel to go longer and stay stronger to deliver better for all of you. May God bless all of you and keep you safe. Thank you.